the beginning of this. So our whole unit has been about poetry, and so we're going to do a little bit of writing today, and what we're going to focus on is we're going to do a mentor text, and we're going to have a look at what it does with poetry, and we're going to try to play with that a little bit ourselves. So you can get your notebooks out, so we're ready for that. So this one is for depression. Despair is the child of lethargy. Depression. Depression is the child of lethargy and despair. She was born tired. She has always had beautiful dreams. As she grew up, she stopped believing in them. The only person she could talk to then was Rage. He sat next to her during the geography class. When Rage left, depression felt totally abandoned. What I love about this one is that it's starting to introduce other characters in here and talk about how these different qualities will be relating to each other. So talk about the parentage of lethargy and despair and who the friends are. So depression sits at the table staring out the window as if there's no escape. She makes sure no one comes too close. Then she frets about being alone. So this is taking it, and I think what I like about this one is that it's sort of going one step further than the other ones that we had seen, because we get to see the fact that we see this quality interacting with the other ones. I have a collection of ones that were written from students in the past that are all in here, so you can sort of look at those at any point if you wanted some inspiration. But I just pulled out two quick ones. One is Clumsy. So Clumsy wears bright colors that never match. She has a long, confusing name with letters that don't belong and feel odd on your tongue. She has friends, but not a best friend. Most keep their distance. She laughs too loud and too hysterically at corny TV shows with popcorn kernels jammed between her teeth. She comes on to guys too strongly, and she doesn't pick up on music or clothing trends as fast as most. So she makes up her trends that cause eyebrows to rise. She is happy even when she shouldn't be. Everyone around her can see her tumbling. She neither notices nor hears. So I thought that was a great example from the students about identifying, what does Clumsy look like, what does she act like, who are her friends, what interests her, all of those sorts of fleshed out things. So what I'd like us to do is take about 10 minutes and figure out what you would like to write about and try to figure out how you can personify this quality. Now in the book, she has a list of all sorts of qualities. Those are the ones that she had. But by no means that's the only ones, those are the only ones that are possible. So I just put those up there as possible starting points. So take a minute to read through that list, see if any of them speak to you in any way, and think about how you can personify that character. So think about, is it male or is it female? Who the friends are going to be, what kinds of things that character is going to do. Just play around with it, and in about 10 minutes we'll see where we are with that. You don't have to pick one of those. You can go on your own if you want. So a lot of kids are working doing either their own writing, or when they're doing some reading, I get a chance to walk around and check in with everybody. It's really important to do conversations with everyone to find out what they're really doing. And so every day I collect a few notebooks and take them home and I read them over. And so the next day during class time when they're working, I have a chance to go and talk to the kids about what I'm noticing that they've been doing for their reading and their writing. And it gives us a good chance to kind of go through and value all of the work that they've been doing in class. We have a chance to look at their rough drafts on things and give them some suggestions with that, check in with what they're reading, and just it's a good chance to really see what the kids are up to in a way that I can't do if I'm just sort of standing at the front of the classroom every day. So do you want to tell me a little bit more about this, where you talk about adding fluff, that you thought that was an easy part of the writing process? I just wasn't sure what you meant by fluff.
I don't really know how to share. It's just when I first moved to the UK, I went to my school, the jump in educational level was really big, going from out of elementary school to international school in the IT system. So I had a lot of trouble at first in my grades and everything. But I don't know, I managed to catch up really fast, and I learned better work ethic. But also I learned that one thing that helps your grades, regardless of the subject, whether you're writing a lab report or an essay, in regards to medical science or whatever, or you're doing an English project, if you take the time to vary the vocabulary up and make it more professional sounding in the piece, regardless if you even know what you're talking about, I don't know, I just noticed that teachers like that more. And whenever I did that in an essay or any other piece of work, they just, it would they'd appreciate the work itself more.
So, but do you think what you're doing there is actually adding specific details into things? I mean, you use the word fluff there, which I think is an interesting word because it sort of has a negative connotation. It's something that's not valuable. But it sounds like maybe what you are doing is adding in those specific details. That anytime that you're able to be more specific rather than more general, it's going to be a more effective piece. So I was just kind of wondering if that was what was happening there. I'd like to share with one that they wrote. Okay, Allie?
I think Kanik. Kanik is a skinny boy with bright blue eyes that are too big for his face. His pale complexion always seems to be constantly painted crimson. He is the son of urgency and fear, and his brother is uncertainty. You can see that his house is a madhouse.
Aaron is afraid of everything. He looks for the monster under his bed, waiting for the man with the chainsaw to cut him up. He doesn't like to sleep at night, fearing that his dreams will bring him sheer horror.
Okay. Valor likes to be in control. He rides about on a high horse and tries to remain unaffected by others' troubles, as he tries to perfect himself. He may fall for heroism or justice, even though on the surface he may seem to hate them with every fiber.
I think that what was interesting about this is that while it's not poetry per se, we have to use all of those things that we use in poetry to make this be an effective piece. So we're going to leave those there, but like anything else in our notebooks, we don't walk away from them. We'll have chances to come back in and pick some things that we're going to want to further revise. So later on in our poetry unit, that's exactly what we'll be doing. We'll be going back through, looking at all these bits of poetry that we've been starting, and we haven't sort of gone through the whole drafting process, but you'll be picking the ones that you think are the most interesting to you, and you'll be choosing which ones you're going to submit for evaluation. So that's coming up a little bit later.